Hello, ladies. Be on your best behavior.
Oh, it's so stupid. What do you think I do behind the scenes?
Well, I was preparing that I was exposing you. I was gonna...
Here, wait, let me
Hello.
switch. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Cynthia, Michigan, cold Michigan. Oops. Hello,
Welcome, everybody.
Jyoti.
Hi.
Anna.
We found our trio.
Yes. Hi, Ems.
Hi. Nice to be back. Sorry if I'm pixelated or blurry or whatever. I'm having issues again. So.
Well, it wouldn't be alive without a little bit of tech problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how about then, Amber, we let you, so you're going to use, we won't see you while you're decorating. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you go, do you want to go first and you can get it over with? If there's a problem, then you'll be able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, all right. That sounds good. So I'll just switch back.
So Amber's going to start decorating. I'm off today, and then I'll be Han. So if she has any issues, Han will jump in, okay?
Okay, let's see. Switching
Welcome,
to my
everybody. Oh, let me do the camera dance for you. There we go.
All right, so does this look somewhat okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I'm working on Hanukkah cookies today. I just posted a video tutorial yesterday or the day before. So I just wanted to go a little more into detail about piping filigree and talk about, like, the different things you shouldn't do when you're piping. Because, I make it look easy because I've been doing it a long time. But there are little rules that I keep in my head when I pipe filigree. So let's start with the Filigree Templates. I have two here. I only have one now. Anyway, this template is available on in my shop at sweetams.com. It's also available in the coffee shop, and it's available to my Patreon subscribers. So this comes also as a template to print a stencil that Marlon helped me create. But today I just printed it on paper because I'm going to use it to pipe over for doing my filigree. So I'm going to practice on a piece of parchment paper. I know it's so early this year. Hanukkah's on, yeah.
What is Hanukkah, by the way? It's 2 days after Thanksgiving. I was going to do some cookies. I'm totally...
I know, we usually have like an extra week, I think, but...
Wow, it's very early.
Okay, so this filigree is just in black and white, but on my other filigree stencil or template, this letter S here, it's hidden in here. There's a letter S right here, and this is my starting point when I do filigree. So on the other template, you can print it out so that you see this in red. And I'm using medium consistency icing, which is like soft peak. And it's golden brown. I made a mixture of brown and lemon yellow to make this color, because then when you paint it gold, it just shows up better rather than painting over like white icing. Oh, thank you so much. I missed you guys too. Thanks, Byron. Okay, so starting on this S, I'm going to squeeze and let the icing build up and then go around. And then hold it here to squeeze to let the icing build up again. I'm going to try to get a little closer. It might still be blurry because of my horrible connection.
Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Katie, Gigi, Byron, Olga. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay, so now I'm going to pipe my little curly cues around that. So the reason I start with an S is so I can branch out from both sides. And then so you always want to start from the outside and go in toward the design. So I'm just going to take the template away for a minute and just show you. So each one of these little pairs is like a little curly cue that faces opposite each other. So they're all this little pair. So you can see these two are facing away from each other. These two are facing away from each other. This is where it gets a little confusing because you have to like remember which direction to go in. Because if you start doing these in the same, I can't even do it, all right, the same direction, then you're not going to have like that nice flowing pattern. You know what I mean?
It still looks pretty.
Yeah, it's just a different look. So you always want to make sure that you're going opposite of the one that you just
Copenhagen. Hello, hello.
So, I mean, I find it easier to do it without the template because the template kind of makes me think too much.
That's what I thought also, that I was thinking in my head, like, I'm pretty sure she's struggling using the template. So she's just, you're more fluent without it.
Right. This is a design that I've been like drawing my whole life. Every time I was in class or on the phone, I would just be doodling this design on a piece of paper. So now it just kind of comes naturally.
All very natural.
Okay. So if you do want
with wood icing that I have, there is actually wood icing. Jeremy, if you are here, there is wood icing. I don't know if you know about it. I would have you do this on my on the oven, the built-in box that I have on the side. So pretty.
Thank you. So now I'll do it on the cookie, but first I'll just show you flooding the cookie first. Let me see where this is. Okay. So this is 15 to 26 count flood consistency icing, and the color is royal blue, sky blue, and a little bit of black. And then I'm just using my scribe tool to shape it. And then this you want to let dry overnight before you do anything to it.
This is a pretty large star, huh? What's the?
Maybe like 3.5 inches.
Oh, I thought it was bigger. It looked bigger.
Yeah, I know. And then I did one where I cut out a mini star in the middle.
Do you have anything about getting the consistency right? Valerie is struggling. She needs help with the consistency. Do you have any, maybe a singular tip that you would give?
Well, that's one of the hardest things about cookie decorating, I think, is getting the right consistency. So it just takes practice. Practicing, you know. Oh, when on wet, it would both need to be 15 to 20 second count. So this one you can see I have butter bleed because I cannot avoid it lately. I think it's because it's just so warm in here from the heaters being on. But we're gonna cover all that up. So if you have butter bleed too, like don't worry about it, just cover it up or cross your fingers and hope that it just spreads over the entire cookie to be one color instead of blotchy. Okay. So starting with our S.
And what's the size of your?
This is a Wilton tip 1.
Oh, it's 1. Okay.
Oh yeah, it looks bigger than that.
It looks like that's what I thought. I thought it was 1.2 or 1.5. I thought it was big.
Yes, that's right, Debbie. That's correct. No, she didn't airbrush. I think it's her butter bleed issue.
Yeah, it's just from the butter bleed.
It's a very beautiful design, Noah says.
Thank you.
I would even like it partially like this when you do just a bit like.
And you could also do this with silver. So I'm going to be painting this gold, but if you wanted to do silver, then you would pipe this with gray and then paint over it with silver pearl dust.
So you were showing the template earlier. I don't think they could pipe that and then lift it off to place on the cookie, you know, like let's say they were struggling with just creating the pattern. Do you know what I mean? Like to make like a transfer of it?
I mean, it would be very fragile. I think it's possible if your icing is just right and you're super careful. But if you're going to do a transfer, I would probably want to place it into the icing when it's still wet. Otherwise, it's not going to be flat.
I think you'd need more connector points.
Yes, I'm looking at that too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes, a stencil for sure, Jeremy, would be easier. So she has it in her coffee shop. If you guys, you can cut your own if you have the machine. Or if you have a projector, you could also use it with a projector.
Oh, yes, that would be good. Or that tissue paper thing that I do with the... I mean, I think...
Somebody is asking, do you prefer tips over tipless? I have had a hard time. I have a hard time deciding which works best.
I think it depends on the project. Some projects I use tips and tipless depending on how much icing I need or how precise I need to be with the icing. Because if I need just a tiny bit of icing for something, I'm not going to fill an entire bag. You know what I mean? Like, so just a small tipless bag works for that.
Would you scratch your design in?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, how Jeremy's right. And also how stiff the icing is. If you're working in super stiff icing, tipless is not ideal.
Right, that's true. It'll stretch the bag too much. So now I'm just doing a little border around the outside with the same icing. So then that would have to dry for like another 30 minutes or so. And I have one here that's dry. And then I'm going to use Sweet Sticks Glamorous Gold.
So you only dry it 30 minutes to paint it?
Yeah, it's such a small amount of icing and it's already somewhat stiff, so it dries pretty quickly.
Oh.
If it was flood, it would definitely have to dry overnight. I'm just adding a few drops of vodka to my pearl dust here.
Oh, that's awesome, Lynn. It's always exciting to try new things. Well, Yvette, you can try, when you cut the tipless bag, we always flatten it and then make it cut. Then you want to kind of wiggle the opening with your hands to make it round again. That makes sense. Good luck with the book, Joseph. So this was a powder luster dust from Glamorous Gold by Sweet Sticks. And what did you add to it?
Vodka.
Vodka, okay. So you added vodka, now you're painting the swirls, your filigree.
So when you do a brown base like this, you don't really have to be super precise with the paint because you won't notice any if you miss a spot, you can't really see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, it's a good color.
It gives it a kind of flawless coverage.
Yeah.
Or helps with the flawless coverage.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you ever tried to coat your filigree in sanding sugar?
I don't think I have. That would be really pretty though.
Yeah, that would work.
I'll have to try that. And so on. Okay, so here are the finished cookies.
I like the cutout one as well.
Yeah, I like this one.
Well, if they look, isn't that the cutter you used last year when you did the blue glass? Is it that?
Yes, it's the same one. Yeah.
Because they should go look at that video too. That was a good one that you did.
I think the video I did snowflakes, but then I posted a picture with the stars. The color is royal blue and sky blue and black. Chef Master.
Yes, very elegant for sure.
Thank you. So
they just seem a lot bigger than like they seem like it's like a 5-inch cookie, but I guess it's not. No, it's not.
You can see how it's it just looks bigger on that camera for some reason.
Very pretty.
Thanks. All right.
Also, now it's my turn.
It's yours.
Yes.
All right, let's see what I can do here. All right, I'm gonna. All right. So today, folks, How's it going, guys? Please let me see if this is better. Oops. It's going to make my face orange. All right, so today I'm going to be using this cutter. I don't know how many of you have seen this cutter or have this cutter. This is a gift cutter or present cutter, whatever you want to call it. And the way it's designed to make it look like a 3D box. So I'm going to start here. I've got some cookies here that are already decorated partially, and yes, my marker. So I'm going to use my marker. This is yellow. Just turn this off.
Sorry, Hen, I'm just going to put this on the screen. There's a question about where to find Amber's coffee shop. So it's scrolling there at the bottom. Or here's her. You can find her template there. Okay.
Yes, thank
So
you.
use the marker to create the shape. I'm gonna do the top first. And for this, I'm using 15 seconds. You can also use 20. These are pretty small sections. Now you could, if you are running out of time, you could ice the whole thing. That's what I did here. I iced the whole thing, then I stenciled it, and then I added the lines after it was dry. Okay, that will save you some time. You can also do that. And today, as always, I'm using my favorite fresh lemon royal icing. Sorry, it's too bright. The idea of creating these panels individually is to create dimension. But like I said, if you are short on time, you can and if you want to stencil, that will probably be even better if you just ice the whole thing. And then you can airbrush also, And then we have to let this crust. So I've got one that is crusted here. And I'm going to use red and green. I'm going to do some stripes. So I'm just massaging my bag. And this is red. I put a lot of red in this bag. It's easier to work with a small amount. So try to maybe use a half of the amount that I have when you're doing wet on wet. It's just so much easier to work with. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to the bottom right here. I'm going to increase the pressure when I go along the top edge. And also, well, along all the edges, but top was important so I don't have to work with the scribe around there. Okay.
And you use like actual lemon juice.
Yes, I do use actual lemon juice. There is only one substitute that I would recommend, and it's listed on my blog. It's an Italian, I believe it's an Italian product. I've used it for about 6 months, but then I went back to lemon juice. I don't think there is a product that really is like freshly squeezed lemon juice. And that was a freshly squeezed lemon juice what I was using, but it just wasn't exactly like what I like. So and you can play with different ratios of lemon juice to water, depending on the taste you like. I like it quite lemony, but some people are, they like it more subtle. So you can use less lemon juice. You can flavor your royal icing with a number of different things. You can use extracts. Avoid using oil-based extract because that can break royal icing.
I actually just got an email today from a viewer who was asking how we wanted us to talk about different flavorings for royal icing.
So this is great. So this is very timely.
Perfect. So
yes,
you were saying don't use oil-based flavoring.
Yes, I wouldn't. Yeah, like if they're specifically, those little Lorraine oils. Although some people use them with no problems, but I don't quite know how that actually works because
I have the the Loran
This is already
oils.
kind of dry. It should be crusted also before you add this part. So I'm gonna do this part now. So you can flavor. I mean, you've done cocoa powder, right? You've done chocolate.
I use these bakery emulsions this is the Loran oils, but these are not oils.
These are water based, right? Those are water
Yes.
based.
So that's what you have to be careful about. So the brand is called Loran Oils, but she makes these
Yes.
emulsions, which they don't have oil in them, so you can use them in your royal icing, and they come in like.
And they don't have alcohol, so if you can have alcohol,
Right.
you can use them as well for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you use them, Mar? Do you use the?
No.
No. You can also flavor your royal icing with coffee. If you are a coffee fan, you could also add some spice, cinnamon, little bit, not too much. I often add cocoa powder when I make my black or brown royal icing. I've had a request for what's it called, orange.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was asking about orange. Now I have not tried orange. I don't know if it will be strong enough. I also have used strawberry puree, fresh strawberry puree or raspberry puree.
But if you're if you're gonna start adding, certain flavors, you have to factor in your colors. If you're working in white icing, certainly don't add strawberry puree to your icing.
Yeah.
It will be pink.
That is absolutely true. So I've got all right. So let's do this one. I did a lot of different colors, but I want to show you the next step on this one. You can also, I think, use pulverized freeze-dried fruit, right? I don't know if anyone tried that.
I put freeze-dried in the cookies, not in the icing.
Yeah.
Well, I would also add it in the icing.
Well, I think that there's less chance to have a potential problem by putting it in the icing, and these ingredients are so expensive that it's not really, for me anyway, I'd be worried about wasting it. So if you put it in the cookie, it bakes well, and then you can just put on your icing and it's fine.
So this is I'm trying to create a lid, and I'm going to add some texture to it with sanding. I'm just going to add sanding sugar.
Nice.
That's a pretty color. It looks kind of like what you did your gold filigree.
Yeah.
So this was, I don't know what I actually used, brown, ivory, brown, and purple.
Oh, wow.
To get this color, weirdly enough. I mean, I didn't mix colors. I had leftovers, so I had to work with what I had. Now, ideally, when you're adding sanding sugar or any kind of sprinkles and you want to limit the application on a certain area, everything around it should be dry, okay? If it has a little bit of moisture, it will stick to anything that has moisture. So you can see this was pretty dry because it's only sticking to this section, okay? Now, as far as the bow goes, I'm going to do red bow. And the bow can also be done in steps, like here is the bow. So you can either, if you want to simplify, you can either do the whole bow like this, the loop, without this little section. And then you can come in with piping consistency icing and then outline it and give it that look. Or you can do sections like I did. Okay, so that's completely up to you. I would, however, wait for what are these called? Tails?
Yeah, that's what I call them.
Tails. So I would probably have this as one section. If you don't want to do this little bit, let it rest and do the tail. Okay. Now on some of the boxes I've done, you can also add another line of icing here, but I decided not to do that.
Have you guys ever used flavored vodka?
I have not tried that.
For drinking, sure. No, actually, I don't know if I have used. No, I have used the lemon juice for many years. I've used lemon juice to make my gold Lasuda Spain.
Oh yeah.
Not lemon juice, lemon extract. Sorry, lemon extract. Lemon extract from McCormick because it has one of the highest alcohol contents of all the extract from their wine, and it lends the flavor.
What does this say, Amber?
Caleta is a
It's a
cookie.
precious cookie.
Precious cookie.
You are brushing on. How is your Spanish with Olive taking Spanish?
Oh, it's getting better. It's just so cute. Like, she comes home and says like these phrases that she learns at school in Spanish, and it's
Oh,
Does she
cute.
like Dora the Explorer?
We don't watch that. It's not on any of the, like they watch Blippi.
Just because Dora has a bit of Spanish. That's why.
I know. Yeah, it doesn't come up in the in the feed that they watch. What channel is she on? Is that a Nick Jr. show? Because
I
that
don't
one's
recall. I mean, my daughter is
I know,
19 now.
yeah. Somebody else will know. I think you might need to get a separate subscription for the Nick Jr.
It
Or
was
they
a
call
cute show.
Yeah. I think they call it Noggin now. That's the channel. Oh yeah, I had Olive. She was home from school the other day and she was on my lap when I was narrating, so she had like a little cameo appearance. But then
your latest video, I heard. I was like, is she gonna do filigree now? That would be pretty amazing. All right, I'm just switching the cookies because this bowl it takes a bit of time.
So every section has to dry.
Every section has to crust.
Yeah.
You can also draw like the outline with edible marker if you are struggling, but you can then shape it with your scribe. Okay. In the bottom section, we can actually finish the polka dot section here.
Someone had a question about vanilla extract before to keep the icing white. I just use natural vanilla because I don't mind if it's a little bit off white.
Yeah, I don't mind either. You can use a Wilton. They have a clear vanilla. It's clear like.
Yeah, it's an imitation vanilla, which is it's a different little bit of a different flavor.
But it doesn't. Yes, it does have a little bit of a more of an artificial flavor.
Yeah,
I guess you could put the whitener in.
Yes.
I've not tried that. Would it just the white food coloring, you mean? Is that what it is?
I haven't met too many Marlins in my life. It's usually there's an I or an E. Sorry to hear that she's passed. It's losing your sister mustn't be easy.
Okay, now we are going to do. Trying to think, because okay. Oh, here we go.
Jeremy uses the white. Is it to whiten from vanilla, Jeremy? What are you using it for?
Karen does it too. And does it affect how your icing dries if you use the white food coloring?
It should actually prolong the.
Oh yes, I remember you saying that.
There are some additives in white food coloring that can help if you are having crusting issues. Like if it crusts fast, it can aid in delaying the crusting, I would say. I have been having problems typing dots. So I see the tip of the bag. Yes, I think it's a consistency. If you're doing the dot, if your icing is too stiff, then it has to kind of. It can be too fluid, but you know what I mean. It has to be like a softer beat, so the gravity is going to kind of like
Yeah.
Good job. Now I'm doing just knot here. Now what you can do if you want to give it a bit more dimension, you can use brown petal dust or something like that and just brush it with it. Here on this one, I actually ended up using, which I rarely do, I don't know, I have red luster dust and I brushed it. I don't know if I like it or not. I might not do that on the other ones. I'm not too keen on that. Um, so that was my very complicated tutorial.
They're so cute. I love those.
I didn't. I've got this one is the stenciled one. I really like this one. It's different, but like I said, I'm trying to keep it simple because these are going to go on my blog, and people don't always want to spend, excessive time on cookies they're creating. So these are kind of, I think pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
I love the star one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the star one is quite nice. I also did this one. I don't know if this is, remember the parchment paper technique?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not keen on, I mean, I don't know. It looks okay. What you could also do to make it a bit more festive, you could add a few maybe branches of like some floral stuff,
Oh,
to make
yeah.
it interesting. Like on the brown, it would be particularly nice if you add some green branches, maybe some pine
That would be
branch
so
or
pretty.
a holly leaf or something like that,
Yeah.
to make it be a bit more festive.
Well, it's a cutter that could be for more than just Christmas, right? It's like
This cutter actually I used, I wanted to bring that up, but I forgot. This cutter I used to make s'mores. What I did, so I cut the cookie. Here it is. So here's my cookie. I cut the cookie and then I turn it and I use it to trim it. And then you have yourself a s'more.
Very nice.
Okay, without having to hand cut or anything, unless you want a bigger shape. And I have that on the blog, how to decorate the s'mores. You could also do number of different wet on wets. We could do, let's see if we can, I'm just gonna do the whole thing.
it could have some pretty filigree wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you order what, Tris? What do you want to know about the icing? It's called Royal Icing. It's made of egg white, powdered sugar, and water,
Mm-hmm.
primarily. There's other fancier things you can use, but you can make it with that.
Henny has a recipe that uses chickpea liquid instead of egg white. So if you don't eat eggs, you can make it without eggs.
Vegan recipe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if only, Jeremy. I don't know who you
Make
would
the
get.
red. I know a lot of you are going to be making red because of Christmas. It's like that, right? This color. Do you have any tips for that, you lovely ladies?
For what?
Making red.
To making red.
Well, use a concentrated food coloring. Oh, wow. I use Chef Master Super Red, and I also use the Wilton Color Right Red. And I know that you guys use AmeriColor.
Yes, I use a lot of memory color a lot, Super Red.
I've been using reaching for my powdered color, and I find that the powder colors really well and it doesn't bleed. So that's an option if you guys struggle with a lot of the like bleeding issues and you haven't found a way to resolve that.
Ideally, I would have liked my tip on a smaller size, so I should have switched to a different, like pour some icing into a smaller bag. It would be a bit nicer looking.
Bye, Joseph.
Bye.
Bye.
Paula has a lot of work ahead of her.
That's a wrapping paper you can create, and then you would come in and do the lines like I did here. You see? You would take wrapping consistency icing and make thicker lines to make it 3D, and then do your bow. What else can we make? We could make little trees, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Where's my piping bag? So I'm gonna make my piping bag a little smaller. Not the bag. I'm gonna. I can't even talk today. Only if I could find scissors.
I've
have
not
not
done
used
that.
that.
Have you guys?
I have not. Have you? Did you say you do or you don't?
No, I've
Yes,
never.
I have used corn syrup in my icing. It softens the icing. It doesn't dry hard as a rock. I'm just gonna get scissors.
I feel.
I
I
mean-
mean, I feel like it just goes darkens to a point, and then that's it. You
It
think
depends
so?
how much you put in. Like
Mhm.
less is more when you're anticipating it darkening.
Mhm.
So I'm adding.
Hi, Grandma.
A little bit of green.
Yeah, I love those too.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yes. Now I'm just gonna cut just to show you how I like to cut it. So seam, you find a seam, you press it in the middle, and I'm just gonna cut.
Hold on. So everybody pay attention. Hannah's cutting the piping bag. She's showing. So repeat, Han, go again.
So the seam on the piping bag. This is a tipless bag. We use this a lot. It's important to get a bag that doesn't have a flap on the seam. If it has a flap, don't use it as a tipless. Use it with a tip, because your icing most likely is not gonna come out nice out of the bag. And I'm just gonna cut straight across, okay? I don't wanna cut it too big, so it's always better to cut it smaller. And what I meant by you wanna kind of wiggle it and kind of reshape it so it comes out rounder. Somebody had mentioned that they have trouble with that. So now I'm going to,
That would be super cute.
let's do white and green trees or red and green trees. Your choice.
I mean, you could do one side one way and the other side the other way to
No,
show.
I'm doing it all in one, or like one.
Oh, one flood.
One flood. Penguins, yeah, that's not. You trying to kill me, Karen? Penguins.
Well,
Okay,
one of the
let's
things
get
that
black.
you could do is you could
Penguins
ice it in white, let it dry, and draw wrapping
You
like
also
little
draw,
designs
exactly.
if
I
you
also
want.
had that, like what I was going to do. We could actually write a message. You could write a Merry Christmas on it, and or any number of things. You know, you could just have a little fun with it.
All us saying white and green.
So I'm gonna do white. Yes, thank you. Let's see. I'm just going to do a little guideline here at the very top, just so I don't mess up. Can you guys see it all?
We can see very well.
So while we are here and next week is Thanksgiving, maybe you can guys tell us what is it that you are grateful for this year? Write it in the comments.
Yes, what are you
What are you
thankful
grateful
for?
for? Okay, now let's start with you two. What are you grateful for?
Lots of things. I'm gonna say that we're all healthy. Yeah,
Okay, that's the most important
we're
part. What are
very
you grateful for?
fortunate to be healthy.
Yeah. I have to say I've been very appreciative to the universe that during the pandemic, when the kids didn't really have as much guidance and help at school, that they were able to persevere a little bit on their own. My daughter's very resourceful. She would Google, she would find. My son would also figure it out. I hear a lot of kids are struggling because of the nature of this non-education that they've been kind of getting. And so I'm kind of like grateful for that they've not fallen too far behind, because it's been a very
Oh my God,
trying
these are
time.
terrible. These are terrible. Okay, I'm scratching this.
No, they're very cute.
No,
Yeah, no. All right. Well,
quite
okay.
terrible.
Show people what you do when you don't like it with your tool.
So when I don't like it, I take this
Well,
little
show the scraping process.
Oh, it's so satisfying, isn't it? Well, in this case, you don't have to like scrape all of it. I'm just gonna scrape.
That's great, Nina. The simple things are often taken for granted.
Maybe I
That's
shouldn't do
great.
this. I should do something.
Not great your husband's gone, but that you're
Oh,
making it
Yeah.
work.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't like it, Jeremy.
oh, I hated it. It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Paula made a good point that if that, even if they're not perfect, you draw around them with a marker and then it just gives it a totally different look.
I'm trying to think because trees can be so tricky. I'm doing it again, but like I don't know if it's going to work because those were so big.
Why don't you use the scribe tool to shape them a little bit?
Yes, to shape the. Oops, this is all bad. But then it's going to take so long. But I guess maybe we can just do one.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's going to be nice. So many of us were apart from our families for the holidays. I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving with your mom.
Yeah, that's very cute.
Okay. Oops. What am I doing? Okay. See, guys, I don't always know what I'm doing.
Do any of us ever?
Exactly. Fake it till you make it.
Yes. So this kind of looks like it reminds me of the person. It just makes eyes. Okay. One more. You could then add a little star. If you have star sprinkles, oh, and I have really cute star sprinkles. I have to show them. They don't have a lot of sprinkles here, but I found these.
Ooh, awesome. That's great, Jennifer.
I found these. I'm just gonna add with a drop 3. They're really nice, kind of with a little pearl.
Oh my gosh. How many days a week does he do that?
That's tough.
Yeah, that's it, Sally.
That's adorable.
Now, if you want to, you can then. Do I ruin it or do I stop?
Keep going.
Keep going. Okay. I'll just keep going. Okay. Oops. Now,
You're decorating like this.
this
Don't
kind of
do it on an order where you
this
have
kind
more
of
than 3.
kills the whole purpose of wet on wet. But we are just trying to show you different things you can do. That's all. You can also do this later and maybe do a. Oh. I think I'm done.
Cute.
It's cute though. I kind of like it. It's very, unplanned. Okay. So, yes. So here are my presents.
I've watched the sugarcane harvest on Netflix. That's one heck of a job. Is he doing that with heavy equipment? I saw it's quite something.
Wow.
The plants themselves are impressive. They've got
Wow.
spikes and stuff. Yes, Bob Ross. I watched the documentary about Bob Ross. There was kind of like the movie about him. Did you guys watch that?
A little bit. It was on somebody's TV the other day when I was
No,
over.
it's going to be 2 years without the TV.
Mm.
Wow.
Anyway, I thought it was interesting that basically his family doesn't own anything of his kind of like, you know, everything that he created was basically
Who owns it?
some lowlife.
Wow.
Yeah,
Basically
I didn't really
stole
catch
it.
any of it. That's too bad.
Yeah, you could run a line down to the tree trunk, yeah. I wouldn't be happy either. Well, that's a very specialized job. I mean, that's kind of a good because he's very necessary. So that's good when you're a very necessary part of the thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can freeze decorated cookies. I do it by I wrap mine individually in cello bags and heat seal them, and then put them into another container, airtight container. Put that in the freezer, and then when you thaw, just keep them inside the container while they're thawing.
Amber, do you have I think you mentioned before you have a blog posting for that?
Yeah, there's a whole post about it with the equipment that I use and the bags that I use and how long you can freeze and all that. So if you go to sweetams.com and type in freeze, you'll find it.
All right, guys. So I can, yes,
So
this is it. You can really
Very
do anything you want, you know. You can do, I have to say, I do like these. I think I will do another design with these, having, you know, I haven't tried that before. So you can do so many different things. And if you do, don't forget to share your pictures with us. You can use hashtag cookie lunch break, and we'll be able to find your photos. Or you can directly tag us, Haniela's Montreal Confections or Sweet Ams.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
Thanks everybody for joining us today. So we'll be back on Tuesday. So we're on Tuesdays and Fridays. And if you're just joining us, you can watch the replay. You can watch it on Facebook or on YouTube, and also the previous weeks.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.